Welcome back, the One Percenter. On today's podcast, we're going to give you guys free game on how you can have your most productive week. What if I tell you that motivation is overrated? Stay until the very end to hear and gain a lot of information that can completely change your life. Like always, we join you the one and only Crispy Q. What's good, bro? And happy Black History Month.
Yes. Happy Black History Month, my brother. I'm just very happy that you're here in person. We're used to having this, over different states. You know what I mean? But now you're here in this beautiful landscape right here. I'm just excited to get this thing started, man. Just excited to get this thing started.
Very excited because of all the great ideas that the author talked about in the book. And so I'm just very excited for us to get going on the different strategy on how you and I, and also those watching, can actually maximize our potential, right? And so with that being said, what are some strategy? Because the author gives so much strategy, right? You put people on game on how you can maximize your output, right? And so what are the certain things that stood out for you?
So there was a few things that stood out to me. One of those things is the key to motivation is success, and the small successes lead to prolonged motivation. The second one was make the goal and afterwards do your best to forget about it. The third one is measure yourself against your process. The fourth one is when practicing, practice something under the same conditions as when you have to perform. And then the last one that like truly stuck out to me was just like the process to map out your week. Every Sunday, you should map out your week and have the things that you plan to get accomplished kind of just down so that you'll be able to get that done. And it sounds relatively simple, but the way that it was broken down was very profound.
Yeah, I'll definitely try to pick your brain on probably what stood out the most for you out of all the things that you mentioned, and maybe if you are already using any of those strategies, I'd like to know how those have been beneficial to you, right? But as far as I am concerned, few things that I really like is that success is about getting things, not things done, right? Because you can be very successful at doing things that are not important. But I talked about getting important things done. So that's my first thing. The other thing that I really like is very simple, right? Say track your time. Because there's no way you can improve on something that you cannot measure, right? So for example, if you want to be better at running, if you want to be better with time management, what, right? So you have to be able to break it down. What does it mean you want to be better at time management, right? Do you track how much time you spend in the bathroom, how much time you read? If you want to be better, you have to track your time, right? The other thing is motivation is the result, right? Because a lot of times we're trying to be motivated, but motivation comes by getting result. And then also one thing that I really like is if you want to reach a goal, you shouldn't focus on the goal, on reaching it, but you should be very focused on the steps that you need to take in order to get to your goals. Right. So those are the things I really like about that. But going back to your point, Q, what are the things that among the things that you mentioned, you're already using and you've seen great success in doing those?
So I think it kind of, there we go. So I think it kind of connects to the one thing both of us had, which was making the process like a priority. I think that was like the biggest thing because I'm a very goal-oriented individual, right? So one goal, for example, right, that I do have is to play at the highest level of professional baseball, right? In the place in which I'm at now, I still have like a few steps to go until I get to that spot. For those of y'all that don't know, to get to like the major leagues, there's something that's called like the minor leagues. And there's, I want to say, 5 levels of minor league baseball that you have to go through in order to make it to the major leagues. So typically it's not like a process like, the NBA where you can just go straight out of college and go into the league. Typically it's a grind for baseball guys, right? I'm on one of the lower levels. And um it can get very daunting to kind of look at the end goal and see how much I have to go until I get there. But one of the things, as I was saying, that he kind of talked about was having small successes, and along the process makes it to where you're looking forward to that success that automatically will lead you towards the goal. And the fact that you achieve that mini success, that gives you even more motivation to go on to the next success. Which is also tied into the other thing that I had, which was make the goal and afterwards do the best that you can to forget about it. I have looked to try to put that into practice, and I feel like that one has helped a lot as well.
Yeah, so before reading the book, right, were you aware of the strategy of, yes, setting goals, which is very important, but did you ever thought about forgetting them, or is through reading the book that you realize that the author is making a great point and therefore decide to make some adjustments to what you do?
Well, that's a very good question. I would say it was because of the book. Again, like, goals always been important, right? But the way in which the goals are made, that's not something that I really thought mattered for real. Just as long as you had a goal and that you were ambitious enough to go forward with it. The way that I used to do it, again, was have like the goal and then just put all my energy into focusing on that goal, no matter how far away it actually is. It can get relatively discouraging when you find that it's like a long ways away. So this truly did help.
Exactly right.
Exactly
So
right. So
I think
I
one
think
thing that
one
we
thing
can
that we
get
can get out of this is that we have to be focused and enjoy the process of getting to the goals, right? Because as you get into your goals, you then realize that you are changing a lot. You're adapting new ideas. You're changing probably the way you perceive. And that in itself, I think, is, you should consider that already as success, right? Because success is just the end result. You're happy for a moment, but you're probably going to enjoy that moment just for a very short time, right? But you spend more time working towards that, right? So that was actually something very, very, very interesting. And I think one last thing before I talk about how you can achieve or you can have your most productive day, something that I really like too is like, which I'm reading from the book. It says when you consistently do the right thing, success is predictable. Success is inevitable. You just can't think about it too much. No obsessions allowed, right? So, kind of like going back to what we said, right? If you focus on doing the right thing, because you're doing the right thing, success will eventually come, right? So, basically, you're compounding the energy that there's no way after you doing all this, there's no way that you're not getting the result, right? And so that's something I really actually really like, right? So for you guys watching, focus on doing what you need to do, and if you do the right thing, success will be inevitable. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything on that you like to talk on.
So yes, that is very true. That is very much the case. But while you were saying that, right, it kind of came to mind. Could you do all the steps to become successful and still not achieve the goal that you have?
Yeah, I mean that's very much possible, because I'm thinking about all the athletes that train, especially for the Olympics. All of them train, they practice, all of them have the goal to be the first. I don't think anybody go there, at least if you're a professional, right, wanting to lose. But as far as I know, they are very ambitious into getting the prize. But unfortunately, maybe there's somebody that is faster than you. And so sometimes you can do all the right thing and still fail. That's why again, right? He's going back to sometimes success is the journey itself, but not the outcome. Oof, that was good.
That man felt his own quote, but it was clean. It was clean.
Yes, sir.
It was clean though. No, yeah. I think that was very profound though, because in certain things, right, it's like there can only be one winner. There can only be one person at the top. You look at certain athletes, right? They train their entire lives. They play in the league for like years on years on years, never win the chip. But if the success is seen in like the process that it took to work towards getting to the chip, then that's really where the pride, not the pride, but like the satisfaction should lie. You know what I mean?
100%. I agree. And so I think that's a good transition into the last thing that I thought sharing. I don't know if you have anything else, but
well, I just kind of wanted to ask, right? I know that you've had a very interesting life. You've had like a very interesting journey to get to the point where you're at today. Could you bless us with a story of something that you like worked towards, something that you grinded and grinded and grinded towards, and maybe at times didn't think would actually come to pass, but ended up coming to pass?
oh, that's actually a very good question. I think probably something that I'm thinking about. I mean, nothing really pops up into my mind right now, but at least something that I've been very intentional doing lately is be able to communicate better, be a better communicator. I think I'm seeing the better result. I guess you guys judge whether I'm be able to communicate much better or not. Something else that I'm very intentional about is be able to work better with my analytical skills. So be getting courses, and obviously the first day was not the easiest, but I think right now I'm in a spot in which I can be confident about doing whatever project come my way. But something that I think that really helped me in my journey is one person told me that I should create a life plan, and so that's something that I definitely took seriously. And so whatever I do, I think or at least that plan that I have for my life is a reference point that helped guide my decision. So I don't know if I exactly answer your question, but yeah, that's something that really um pop in my head. But I know you have a lot of stories, right? Like being an athlete and you experiencing the type of injury that you had, the career ending injury, but then being able to be back. And I had a chance to see you play a couple of days ago. And so what were you telling yourself, right? Not really trying to flip things up, but I'm really curious when you were going through those moments, what or how did you encourage yourself to keep on pushing?
So that's a that's a very good question. And for those of y'all that don't know, relatively recently, I want to say a few months ago, right? More than a few months ago, I had a pretty serious injury in my shoulder, right? And in baseball, right, you can't really do anything without your shoulders. Even if you're not a pitcher, you kind of have to use it to swing, you know, things of that nature, right?
I mean, that's it. It is fun, right? You can't do it.
I feel like you'd be shoulderless in soccer.
You can be stronger than soccer.
You could have no arms to play soccer. You don't think so? Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. You use your feet. You use your feet. Nah, but yes, I had like a pretty bad shoulder injury. And it was the type of injury that like a lot of people have not come back from. Like it's relatively serious. From the time that it happened, I kind of had it in my mind that no matter what, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get back. So I think that's the first thing that you start with, is having that defined goal in your mind. What transpired after that was just kind of making a plan, right? So with the injury in sports, that's relatively easy because it's like you have like a doctor that sets out like a plan for you. in order to rehab it back, right? So my whole thing with that was really just like following that plan. The big thing that I had to work on was the mental side, because there are those days, and I'm sure there's the same in like business. I mean, in my business dealings as well, but in probably in yours as well, right? Where it's like you just you feel like you hit a wall, and like you're not able to progress as fast as you expect yourself to. And even sometimes you hit setbacks. Like certain times I go to the gym to do my rehab, I do a move too wrong or too many times, and then I feel the pain again, and I'm like, dang it, I messed myself up again. But you have to continue to through that. It's like you have to continue to maintain the reason why you're doing, or why I was doing, because I should be speaking about myself, right? I had to maintain the reason why I was doing what I was doing, and just use that along with like prayer, of course, to like overlook the current situation. And there was also another thing to kind of like end it off, right? There's this one graph that I saw, and it was like the path of success, right? The path to success. I'll probably like put it up on the screen, but basically it was like a XY axis, and what we expect success to be like is linear, like all the way up from east to west, right? What it actually is, and what was in the graph, it went up, and then when it went down, it went sideways, it went up, it went back, it went up, it went back, down. That's how success is. That's what the road to success or achieving your goal truly is. You're going to have a lot of setbacks. You're going to have a lot of days where maybe you don't think that you're going to accomplish it, but at the end of the day, you have to continue on the path.
Yeah, I think that the hardest thing is to actually fall in love with the process, right, more than the goal. Because it's very easy for one to be so excited about the end product, but then when it comes down to doing the things that you need to do in order to get to that end goal, it becomes a lot of sometimes, yeah, I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like, but I think sometimes, I don't think so. Sometimes you just have to do it regardless, right? And at the beginning, I was talking about motivation is very overrated, and motivation overrated because I mean, sometimes you just don't have to do it, right? But you have to put yourself into processes or system. I always say that system over goals, right? Maybe you can break it down on some different time, but you have to create system in which you can be able to perform whether you like it or not. And so if you guys want that, go in the comment section, write down system. We'll make sure that we can send that to you. So system over goals, right? And so the last thing I kind of wanted us to really talk about is like the author talks about ways in which you can have your most productive day ever, right? Ever. And so the first thing, I'm not going to talk about all the point, but I think the point in which I resonated the most with, the first thing that is like let everyone knows, right? Let everybody know that today you're going to have a very busy day. I think that was very interesting. Um, Something else is decide how long you work, right? So let's say you plan to do whatever, decide on how much time you're going to spend doing that. The third thing is totally commit to how long you decided to work, and you have to the other thing is delay and space out your rewards and take productive break, not relaxation break. And I felt like that was actually very interesting, right? I mean, he continued going on with different strategy, but I think the one that really resonated with me was the first point, which is let everybody know that you're busy, right? I think if people know that you're busy, those that really care about you and making things happen, they will understand and they might not reach out to you, or maybe I mean, if they really want to, but I don't think somebody who truly understand will be reasonable enough to not do that. So
Well, I feel like that's very applicable for you, because I feel like At least whenever you're out here, you got your everybody be calling you to like go this place, that place. This man, I don't know if y'all know, this man is like the mayor of this city. It's like whenever he comes out here, he's like, oh, I gotta hit up this friend, these friends. Oh, I gotta hit up these friends. Oh, I gotta hit up these. Like, but it's good though. It's good. But that just makes it all that much more important to be able to have like set times where you're letting people know, like, hey, this time to this time, I'm unavailable, but this time and this time, we can go and shoot the breeze, have the vibes. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah. So did
So
you
did you
resonate with any of those points that I mentioned, or are you surprised by any? What's your reaction towards that?
well, I think that none really truly like surprised me. I would just say I think that it was very profound the way that the information was laid out, and I think that is very easy. Well, it seems simple, but it's something that has to be put into practice in order to have its true effect. So that was pretty much my thoughts on the whole thing.
Right.
Right. And so guys, let us know if you guys have different strategy that you've been using on being productive. Please go in the comment section and write what you guys think, right? But before we conclude, Q, give me one thing that as a result of reading this book, you'll be doing differently.
The one thing, that's a good book.
Oh yeah, the one thing. That's actually a good book. That's a good book. One thing.
Yeah, shout out whoever wrote that. But the one thing I would say is my focus or forgetting my goal. Definitely forgetting the goal. As I said before, forgetting the goal, that's going to be the goal.
So you're not really forgetting it.
I tried to make that sound good.
I hear you though. I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
What about you?
Yeah, I think one of the things is just like forgetting the goals and falling in love with the process and really mapping down or going into great details about what I need to do in order to get it done, right? Because it's nice to say, I want to lose weight, I want to do this and this and this, but okay, how much weight do you want to lose? You want to save money, okay, but how much do you want to save? You have to be really details about what you want to achieve. You want to be in a place in which it's either yes or no on you achieving it, right? And so that's something I really like. And then the other thing is that, again, motivation is overrated. Sometimes you just have to do it, even if you don't feel right, because motivation comes by the little success that you've gained along the way. Motivation starts, you need to get going, then motivation will kick in, right? Because anything else is probably just cheap, I don't know, feeling. But what if that feeling is not there anymore? What you gonna do, right? And so, yeah, those are the great takes away. We're going to drop the book in the what do you call that section? The description section.
The description, yes. It's
And
okay.
so, yeah, thanks for
No, for sure.
yeah. So I definitely recommend reading that. And
Absolutely. So, with that being said, appreciate y'all for being here with us, taking in this beautiful scenery as well, and stay blessed and keep being a 1%er.